Only one kid in history had ever attempted what Benny was about to. And he got eaten. So we were worried. Real worried. Even when Benny brought out the secret weapon. Shoes guaranteed to make a kid run faster and jump higher. PF Flyers.
We can't let him do this, man.
Right, welcome back to the Slate Lace Podcast. Happy Hump Day. Back at it with another episode. This week we are talking Malcolm and Marie, the latest Netflix movie. I would say it's more of a drama for sure. So, quick synopsis. Director and his girlfriend's relationship is tested as they return home from his movie premiere and await a critic's response. So, very short synopsis there. Very quick and to the point. Blair, let's get into some initial thoughts. We did our trailer reaction. You kind of said you might have been interested in where it was going to go. Let's get into that.
I thought that some of the shot choices in the trailer were very interesting. Definitely up my alley, definitely artsy. That was the initial thoughts when we were looking at the trailer. I know you tried to project on me because I'm in the old school things. You're like, oh, you're going to like the black and white. Not necessarily, you know?
I definitely thought it was going to be up your alley.
I feel like it's the same thing with Manhattan, the Woody Allen film. It was in black and white, and we're clearly in a color.
Woody Allen's canceled. I don't know if we can bring him up right now.
I was giving it a black and white example. I didn't even say he was amazing or that I love him.
Hey, let's not get canceled before we get started. They be like, oh, they Woody Allen supporters?
And the show is now over, right? Pack up, let's move out. It's a wrap, you know.
But no, go on.
But basically, I was trying to say is that sometimes I don't really know how to feel about the black and white. I think that black and white films are dope because the time period that they were in, that was what they did, and that was the medium that they had, you know. So when you actually have the option to do color, I feel like you should do color.
Hot take.
No. But at the same time, I think that there are some black and white films that do succeed, you know. But I just, for the most part, I don't necessarily actually like it.
Okay. I got you. So,
so I know you were trying to project that on me, like, oh, you're gonna love it. And I was like, actually, I don't really, not so much. You
be film noir. But as far as like the plot, what'd you think? The actual structure. I mean,
I thought it was just gonna be another regular movie.
So you weren't too hyped up. You weren't too turned off. Just
no. Of course. I always try to go in. You know me. I try to go in blind and hot. And then try to be surprised about a lot of things. That's why mainly I do try to stay away from the trailers, because I don't want to be able to figure things out and guess from the, first few minutes of the movie. But initial thoughts was also that was a lot of butter going into the mac and cheese.
Did they show that on the trailer?
Yes, they did. Nice little stick. Remember, I was like, bam, they cutting the tension. I was like, dang.
Oh, yeah.
Remember, I did say that initially, So, yeah, I still think that was a lot of butter, definitely at least 90 calories.
I ain't really a mac and cheese person, but...
Yeah, that was the blue box mac and cheese. You could tell. Oh,
it was from the box.
That was my initial thoughts as well, But initially, I was just like, okay, it looks like it's going to be a cool flick. I guess we're just going to have to see what really happens. And I'm definitely hoping that we leave this house.
Leave the house? What do you mean?
Yeah, because it looked like it was getting ready to be one of those pieces where we don't leave.
Yeah, okay.
And I'd like to leave.
Yeah. You want to, travel to a different location.
Yes, it'd be nice just to see something else.
Okay, I got you. So for me, you guys probably remember, I used a strong word. I used the word hate.
Mm-hmm. You said you weren't going to like it.
Yeah, I said I was going to absolutely hate this film. But I did like the fact that it was very simplistic. A lot of dialogue that we were seeing from the trailer, and like how it was going to be in one night, one setting. I was really excited to see how that was going to play out. But again, something about it hit me right away, and I was like, this ain't gonna be for me. I just thought it was getting a little too too full of itself from the trailer. But we got more on that kind of stuff later. What do you want to start with? The good, the bad, the ugly? What we doing?
We can start with the good. I don't mind.
All right, let's do it. Blair, take it away.
Okay. So for me, the good, one of the things that I did like a lot was the blocking, which was basically, the choices of layout and how the characters will move within a frame. For example, they could be sitting on the couch for maybe like 15, 20 seconds. But because, characters are talking and you want it to not be so static and so boring, what traditionally directors will then have characters do is get up and move somewhere else. So you will see it in pretty much all films, especially a lot of the good ones as well. So, they'll move to a different location and they'll carry on with the conversation there. Yeah. And so with this film being the type of film where we do not leave this house at all, we need to keep things fun. We need to keep things light and interesting in the sense of, like, obviously this is not a light film, it's a drama, but I mean, we need to keep people like on their toes and stuff, or else it's going to drag and it's going to get boring. So I did like the director putting them to work and getting them to move around a lot and kind of create these nice shot choices, which is another thing that I did like. One of my favorite shots actually is she was laying on the top of the couch. There's many of times where like that's come across my mind where it's like, dang, I would love to shoot a scene where someone is laying on top of the couch and then someone is below it and they're having conversation. So it's kind of cool to see that something that I had in mind kind of come to life and get put to good use. That doesn't mean that I won't use it or anything like that, because I did see it, because I can guarantee you it's been in other films as well. It's not necessarily anything original. I just think that it makes things more interesting. So that was I feel like a good example of blocking, but there was a lot of that obviously throughout this film. They're chasing each other throughout the house and ended up in different places and continuing their arguments there. Another good thing was, and I'm sure you already know I was going to say it, was music. So that definitely, I feel like, kept a lot of viewers into this film, especially the William Bell, I Forgot to Be Your Lover. That was kind of like, dang, okay. I definitely play that song a lot. So, it definitely kept me going, kept me locked in, because I was like, okay, I could feel the vibe to this, because, it is black and white. So you obviously know that there is going to be an artistic vibe going here. And it definitely felt, it definitely set the mood. Obviously, a lot was triggered from that as well, but, we don't release that type of information here. But, yeah, I definitely love the choices of music. The jazz definitely, was definitely up the alley of the last film we reviewed.
Yeah.
Sylvie's Love.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool. I guess we're in a jazz month, I
guess so.
I believe it was even John Coltrane even had a song, or no, was it Duke Ellington? All right. Well, either way, it was one of the two artists. I can't remember right now. It was in a sentimental mood. Yeah, and Sylvie's Love even had something very similar. So that was kind of cool for us to run that back to back. That wasn't even intentional,
Yeah.
Yep. And then at the end was another thing that I liked. The shot choices basically when the night was over. So what we have is we have a span of, I want to believe they got home at about 1 a.m, and it looks like it carried on to 6 a.m. And so when we get towards the end of the night, when we're finally like kind of coming down from this high and this whole everything we went through, there was like a cool set of shot choices that they had there where they were basically speeding the night up. We were kind of creating these jump cuts, and we were kind of creating this effect that, like, on one side of the frame, she was doing something, Marie, and then on the other side of the frame, Malcolm was doing something. But the camera, the way it was split, but it was creating the effect that both of them were there, with the uses of mirrors and things like that. And
fragmentation,
Bingo, yeah. Look at you. You was in class with me, huh?
Nah, mine was harder.
Oh, look, we not here for that. I'm tired of you trying to do that. You and Dad, I'm not here for the disrespect. So, anyways, I really did enjoy that. I was like, dang, super artistic. Again, right up my alley. And then that was what I loved about the trailer. So if you could narrow it all the way down at the very, very, very end, that was my favorite part of the whole film. And that was what I liked about the trailer. And the cool thing about the trailer is you're just supposed to kind of recreate this overall feeling in this mood that you're going to get in the film. And
They definitely did that.
they definitely did that. With the one shot choice that I loved in the trailer, I saw it at the end. So
There you go.
my life was complete.
Got you. So all the camera, the cinematography, you know, director of photography, Blair,
Blocking, music, all that good stuff. That was the good of the film.
He's giving them a good, a big shout out right there.
Shout out to y'all.
Before we continue, I forgot to say that it is starring Zendaya and John David Washington. It is written and directed by Sam Levinson. He is the creator of Euphoria. Obviously, him and Zendaya have a great working relationship. On to what I thought was good. For me, I like the style of the movie. So I said it in the trailer. I've said it a couple times on this podcast now. When you give me one setting, one night, everything takes place in that little area. I kind of like that. I'm very intrigued. I like you guys to show off what you can do with just one setting. And I feel like, you know, the writer and director Sam Levinson definitely showed us what he can do with minimal setting by packing in a ton of dialogue. And I just said the key word, dialogue. I love that. I'm a dialogue person. I don't really like when it's quiet and we're supposed to interpret the way they're moving, although that shows off your acting range. I like talking, you know. So that was great. I also thought the chemistry between the two characters was good. I didn't know what to expect going into that because I was like, odd pairing. But I was pleasantly surprised. They did have chemistry. And yeah, you felt the passion, you felt the anger, the emotion, the sadness, all that stuff, which was also, came through their dialogue as well. But outside of that, yeah, I mean, I think that was it for me. Just dialogue, casting, chemistry, and then his overall style of just using one setting, one night. Oh, I also liked how in the beginning the credits were there.
Yeah, just got it all out the way. Just
the opening credits was awesome. They also did that kind of in Sylvie's Love. We touched on the credits. So yeah, Blair's right. We're kind of on a little pattern here. What's going on?
Yes, we are.
Yeah, so I like that. The opening credits was just right there from the beginning. And I did like some of the camera work, like when they was really walking around the house and the cameras were kind of whipping around real fast during some of the argument scenes. That was good, but yeah, I mean, I didn't really notice it that much outside of just when we was like whipping,
there was even a couple shots.
Around.
There was even a couple shots where they were outside of the house.
Yeah, I didn't notice it that much. I know there were shots, but that wasn't what I was focusing on. But yeah, no, that was good as well. But that's not necessarily one of my pros. More just the dialogue, more just the setting and stuff like that.
I agree with you too. There was a couple dialogue scenes that I did like towards the end, like where she was kind of mentioning him like over sexualizing one of the characters that he used in the film. I think that was a very interesting conversation because it's like that is something that kind of happens in a lot of films where it's like, does it actually take away from the film? Does it enhance the film? What does it like really do? Yeah. And she proposed that kind of that good question. And then even his follow-up was interesting as well because it was like he was basically saying like, well, I mean, if I was a female, this film would be completely different. Like my whole perspective on film, and the way I see things and the way I put stuff together and create things would be completely different than what you just got. So it's like, yeah. I really did enjoy that piece of dialogue there and that that conversation.
He also had a couple like little hitters in the movie in the beginning. He was a little jokester. I was surprised. He was making me laugh. You guys will have to.
You laughed in this movie?
In the beginning, yeah, they was cracking some jokes in the beginning. You must have missed that dialogue when he was coming home just hitting. But I don't want to give too much away, so I want to kind of leave that for you guys to come in and check that out for yourself. But in the beginning, I was like kind of rolling because I was like, all right, he going hard, but it was kind of funny. So again, that's all that dialogue, Yeah. They kind of do fast talk, so you got to kind of keep up. But yeah, I mean, I catch on to that. I talk fast too, so I know how it goes. But yeah, it was interesting. And they kind of roped me in with that dialogue and like hurling insults back and forth and stuff like that. It was very interesting. Okay. But as much as there's good, there's a lot of bad. I'm going to swing it back to you. Give me the bad and the ugly. Let's go.
They talk too much.
That's your ugly?
Well, so I'll start with that. And I understand that a lot of dialogue is required because we're staying in one house and we're not leaving, obviously, other than to walk outside and then walk back in. You know, there was a little bit of that. But, you know, you got to keep people engaged. You got to keep people entertained when you're only doing so much. Mm-hmm. So I do understand that everything is required in the sense of like they must talk. They must have dialogue, you know. It's tough to pull off someone, right, just being mutant in the house and not saying nothing and you staying interested, especially for a length of an hour and 43 minutes with this being what it was.
It was a while. It was quite a while.
Yeah. But
you
here's
felt
the thing.
The time. Is that not necessarily good?
But here's the thing. An hour and 43 minutes is actually not a long film.
It felt long.
That's the problem. Mm-hmm. And the problem is because we did not leave, and because we did not leave, and we did not, I feel like, create enough interesting enough dialogue, enough tension. Yes, there was the physical tension, but I don't think that, in my mind, the stakes were great enough. You know what I mean? Like it was like, what happened that night, was it really enough to end a relationship? You know what I mean? Like the overall stakes, was it really high enough? I'm not entirely sure. And then another thing for me is that they talk too much, but the way they talked too much. The dialogue was back and forth, but they were great listeners. And there's nothing wrong with being a great listener, but the thing is that nobody ever interjected at any point. You know what I mean? It was like
a lot of monologuing.
Correct. So she's talking for 5 minutes and he's just sitting there listening like, okay, now it's my turn. And then he would give his speech. He would stand on the soapbox. And to me,
kind of like plays.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's what I was talking to mom and dad about too. It was just like basically like as if you went and watched your play, but we didn't get an intermission. Mm-hmm. And we kind of needed an intermission, you know? And then, so for me, it's like, you can stand on the soapbox briefly and speak, right? But the way dialogue is set up is like no one's really supposed to say more than 4 lines before someone else says something. Because when you think about a typical conversation, excluding outside what we're doing right now, and when someone's telling a story, most of it is back and forth. Like right now, obviously, you have to shut up and listen to me because you asked me what my feelings were in regards to this movie, so I'm talking a lot. And then when I pass it back to you, I'm going to sit there and listen because, you know, you're going to say what you need to say. But for the most part, we go back and forth. So when we're sitting here watching a movie, we're trying to, you know, we're recreating life in a way. Now, obviously, there is story and things that you kind of add into it that aren't necessarily true to life. But what you have to do is you still kind of have to create the back and forth because that's how conversations go. You know what I mean? And like when people argue, like we've seen arguments before. And you mean to tell me that one person completely listens every single time for an hour and 43 minutes of a film? Because I mean, it was almost like never did anyone ever interrupt at any point. It was like they were amazing listeners. That's crazy. Mm-hmm. That's unheard of. Yeah. So that was one of my biggest pieces. I didn't even really necessarily feel like the movie just dragged on that long. I mean, it was in a reasonable time, but for me, it was just like those were the overall things that were bothering me. And I was laughing, like not necessarily like laughing. I mean, I had a straight face, but it was just comical to me the way he was going hard on that mac and cheese. I was like, dang, he really loved that mac and cheese. Yeah. Because, I mean, he was eating it like I was eating it, you know, when something's too hot, but it's too delicious. So you still got to keep eating it.
That's how you eat.
Yeah. You know how I get down. If I like something, I'm not waiting for it to cool down.
I heard she's like, did you get seconds?
I'm going to burn the roof of my mouth. It is what it is. You know, I'll deal with the pain later. So it was cool. It was cool to see that. That was funny. You could see that they did have like a little bit of chemistry and stuff, like him like misplacing things and she kind of having an idea where it would be and things like that. So you could see that there was like love in their relationship and stuff. But man, Like the insults that they were hurling at each other, it's fun. It's not funny, but it's like a lot of the stuff they said that night would be difficult for a lot of people to get over in any typical relationship. You know what I mean? It was
gloves off, gloves off.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be tough for a lot of people to get over that. That relationship would be over, without a doubt.
That was it. That was just mostly that dialogue, huh? That bothered you?
But that was literally the whole film. They talked.
Yeah, but that was it.
They talked the whole
Yeah, but I mean, it could boring, long, dragged on, bad acting.
No, but my thing is that when you look at the runtime, it really wasn't that long. Yeah. I mean, now if they condensed it and made it into a 30-minute film, the film would probably be much better, much more well suited. I did read a review, and somebody did say if you saw the first 20 minutes of this film, you can go ahead and shut it off because the rest is exactly the same. And I do find that interesting because it's kind of like that's really all you get for the rest of the film.
Yeah.
They kind of keep roping around. It's weird. They swear they're telling the truth, right? So say 10 minutes in, they're having a dialogue about mac and cheese. And then none of this is actually truth. This is just something I'm making up on a whim right now, right? But let's just say they're having a conversation about mac and cheese for the first 10 minutes. And he's saying that she's made the worst mac and cheese of all time, right? So what we think we're getting right there is the actual cold, hard facts. You know what I mean? But then 20 more minutes go by and he brings up the mac and cheese again. And then now he's saying how much he loves it. You know what I mean? And we're like, so wait, what is the actual truth? Do you actually like the mac and cheese or do you hate the mac and cheese? What's the real deal? Then 40 more minutes go by and we having the conversation about the mac and cheese again, and we're just kind of like, wait, so where do you stand in all of this? So what I'm basically saying is that they swear that they're giving the truth at one point in time, and it's that is how we feel, right? And then it comes back up again. And then it's like, wait, so what is your true feeling of it? And then it comes back up again. And that's mainly Marie that's doing that, and then Malcolm is kind of trying to get to the cold, hard facts of it. You know what I mean? Because he honestly, this whole time is just really trying to enjoy his night and of success. But I mean, so for me,
definition of toxicity, It's rough.
Yeah, and the thing is that in my mind, they're toxic, but it works for them. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You could see.
That's why I was the flip flopping.
Yeah.
Some people fight to make up.
Right. So when you watch them, you never feel at one point threatened, in the sense of you don't feel like, man, he's gonna put hands on her. Yeah, or she's going to put hands on him at some point.
That's why they can take the gloves off with the insults, but still be like, it's not healthy. We're not promoting that.
Yeah.
But
if you're in one of those relationships, I suggest you get out. But
that works for them, but hey, it might work for some people. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean it was interesting enough. But my thing is that for me, color should have been in this film. It was way because it made it bland in a way.
Mm-hmm. It was very stripped down. Yes. But I think that might have been what they were going for.
They stripped it down too much. It was naked.
Yeah. So for me, I mean, a few words come to mind when I'm thinking about The Ugly. Exhausting, repetitive, extra was probably just over the top. Extra is the definition of this film to its core. Some things unnecessary. Just with the characters, I don't truly believe, I'm talking specifically about John David's character at this point. Some of the things he was doing, I was like, do people actually do this in real life? This is obviously a dramatized fight, is what I feel like, because his actions sometimes, he running out in the fields, okay, dude, can we simmer? It's just I don't like all that. It's just over the top. But that, when not that I know of, but when I want to watch it, I like realism. So If we're gonna, I want something that somebody's actually gonna do. Like, I like dramatic shows. I like dramatic movies. I don't necessarily I want to escape from my life and just be entertained. I kind of want to see real life in movies sometimes. I want to feel. So if I see you out here running around, like, jumping up, like, I'm, okay, dude, like, you kind of lost me. But
but he's doing that because he doesn't want to come in there and then put hands on her like that.
Okay, I don't know if that was the point, but
no,
that's
but
not,
I mean that's like you releasing frustration because you don't want to go back inside and take all that out on.
Yeah, I guess, but that's, again, to me, that's not real life. That's not what I would see. You know, that's not what I see how people act when they're angry. It was just over the top, like, dude, we get it, like the cussing, 100%, that be happening. You be letting them fly. You know, the insults, you let them fly. Got it. You're hot. But all the other stuff was just like, come on now. But again, I really like that heavy dialogue. Very repetitive, like you were saying. We just bring up the same topic over and over. I think toward the end, they try to really get to the root of it. But again, we've heard it from the first minute to the second minute. Like, can we move on? But
that's what I'm saying.
Is that what a fight is? Maybe. I don't. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
fights do be like that, though.
Exactly. So I guess in a way, Sam's like, no, these are the way real couples fight. I guess. But again. Woo, can we move on? You know what I'm saying? So it's very repetitive and redundant in that way. Very dramatic, over the top, extra. Yeah. It's literally a whole night of fighting. And you're just like...
Yeah, that's the film.
Okay, are we going to move on?
There's a couple times where you get convinced that it's over, but you obviously know there's just too much left to the film, so it's not going to be...
And then I'm going to hit on the length. I know Blair said that this is not a good long run time. Like, 145. Like, by the book, it's not long, but boy, did it feel long. Okay? I get by the book, by the minutes, got it. But I was tired. I was like, let's wrap this up. So, yeah, if anytime I'm checking my watch that I don't wear, aka my phone, it's a problem. Like, you have failed to keep me engaged in this movie. And then... getting down to the heart, and this is probably my main issue, is like the pretentiousness of this film. They literally threw a tantrum for an hour and 40 minutes, and he's trying to tell us that this is art. This was just an argument that you caught on camera. Like, don't try to tell me this is art. No. Okay? It's so much like the characters, how they're talking about the reviews and the wokeness and the touching on this racism and all this, like, stop. Like, it was just so pretentious to me, I feel like. The characters are, and the way they talk and the way they dialogue, it just wasn't for me. I felt like everybody was on their high horse a little bit and just need to be kind of knocked down a size. Yeah, it's just, you can tell that the director was trying to, like, you know what I'm saying? He was like, this is something deep. You know, this is a deep film. You, like, if you didn't like it, you just don't understand. Like, was it? Like, that's what I mean by the pretentiousness. It's like, you trying to sell me that it's deep, but all I saw was an argument. You know what I'm saying? So that's really the root of it. And that's my main con. It's just like, it was a little pretentious with the black and white. And now, oh, you just don't understand. Like, no, I got it. I know what fighting is amongst couples. I know how the past comes back and rears its ugly head. I know when one starts to get successful and one feels complacent. Got it. I'm smart. I got you. But you trying to tell me that this is a work of art, a masterpiece, a little pretentious of you. And that's not to knock on Sam Levinson, because I like Euphoria, I like Zendaya, I like John David Washington, but this film just kind of wasn't it for me. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I didn't want to go that hard, but like, we gotta go hard.
Do what you gotta do.
I don't want to get canceled. I'm scared.
Do what you gotta do.
If
we get canceled, because I said shout out Woody Allen, and I didn't say shout out Woody Allen. I was trying to mention.
That's gonna be the headline. So he done just shouted out Woody Allen. No, we don't like that man. He's a rapist. We don't like him. Good.
Some of his movies was
Blair, no.
Some of his movies was heat, but I mean he do be tripping though. But just to piggyback off of what you were saying earlier is basically with the whole relationships, you know, they usually do come back up when we don't have closure to previous situations and things that have happened. So for example, like he or she, whoever it is, like cheats on the significant other, and then it comes up in conversation. It was like, did you cheat on me? And it was like, yeah, because of, you know, I did it because of X, Y, and Z, because I was feeling A, B, and C, right? Like you can sit there and you can take the information and be like, okay, dang, So that happened. All right, I'm over it, right? And you can say that you're over it, and then, you know, you keep going about your day, you know, month by month, year by year. And if you know, and then like something happens and it just kind of triggers you and you bring it back up again. And then the person that cheated is like, dang, you still not over this? Well, it's like you can't really give a time estimate to when a person actually gets over what they get over. Mm-hmm. And so I feel like maybe Sam is doing that in the sense of why it keeps coming back up and keeps coming back up. And obviously we don't want to reveal the reason of this argument and why it keeps happening. But I think that that's why she keeps bringing it back up throughout the night. Mm-hmm. But every time it gets brought up throughout the night, we find out more information. But again, that was why I kept saying why I was bothered, because I was like, well, dang, what the heck is the truth? Like, let's get to the bottom of this. Yeah. Because if we get to the bottom of this, now all of a sudden we chip away at that hour and 43 and we're at an hour and 20, hour and 15. You know what I mean? And now it's looking much more like a short film. You know, you don't want to drag things out and have people feeling like it's forever. You know, especially when we're gonna sit here and stay in the house. You know what I mean? Not everyone can really pull off 12 Angry Men. You know what I mean?
But you're right about that repetitiveness. It probably did serve a purpose. Mm-hmm. Because you're right. Like, you can't tell someone when to heal, so that's gonna keep that obviously is eating away at her, so she's gonna keep bringing it up. Mm-hmm. Got it, but. It was like getting to the point where it's like, okay, either end the movie, then he should have ended the movie. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, after the second and third time we done brought it back, cut to black. We done, you know? Yeah. But I get it. Like, in real life, you don't just poof over things like that. You know?
But for the sake of a film, you want to give the somewhat of a resolution. You know what I mean? Whether they fall back down the rabbit hole or whether they figure things out.
Just chop it down next time. I mean? That's the takeaway. Chop it in half.
Some type of resolution. And then the thing I was going to say, too, at the end is, like, when you watch it, you're just kind of like, dang, I watched all this and that's all I kind of get.
Yeah. Yeah. It was one of those endings that just kind of linger off. It's no real solid. It's open to interpretation-ish. You know, it's one of those. And I don't really mind those endings.
But I think that's also because the stakes and everything like that wasn't necessarily great enough. You know. But I do think this is one of the films that didn't necessarily follow the film formula all the way to the T. Yeah. You know,
and that's cool.
And I think that's cool, you know.
I'm into that. We don't need to stick to the blueprint.
Yeah, so I feel like
you a blueprint guy?
I think that there's stuff that's laid out, right? Like obviously this blueprint, and I don't think there's anything wrong with going away from it. But if you go away from it, man, you better kill it if you move away from it. And and obviously, if you follow the blueprint, I do think it is on you to try to be original within following the blueprint. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, my thing is like, I don't want to see people reinvent like a way that we're supposed to see it, you know, and then we sitting here like, you know, bored out of our mind. So that's the biggest thing. So I agree. If you can get away from it and kill, go for it. If you can kill while following it,
it's all in the execution.
It's all in execution. So for me, I mean, it was really just all right. It was just another flick, middle of the road, you know.
Well, let's get into the ratings then.
Okay.
So, Rotten Tomatoes, not too favorable on this. They gave it a 58% rotten.
That's middle of the road.
It's rotten. 58 is an F.
Yeah, but that's 50%. So that's halfway to 100. That's the way I look at it. Like, it's almost a D.
I look at it rotten.
It's almost a D.
And IMDb gave it a 6.7. So that's the people. The people kind of liked it.
Mm-hmm. They probably love that black and white.
That's dead center. You think that's what people resonate with?
Yeah, and the music.
You think that's what it is?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and probably people can relate to probably some conversations that have been had within that one. I think
it's very timely. I think it's a very timely film.
Yeah.
I think we're in a time where we're like, two black leading characters. Mm-hmm. We got a woman. We love Zendaya. Yes, yes. Mm-hmm. She's coming off a good... You know, I think it's very timely and it's very smart and it's very good on her part to produce this as her first film. It's very timely. I'll say that. I think that's why the ratings are what it's are. But I'm not a hater, so go ahead.
No, not at all. I do also think that people, they like good old dramas, you know.
Yes, we do.
Because
we love drama.
People want to laugh and cry like all in the same film.
And be in people's relationship business.
So I feel like that's why that's also kind of maybe hit, for those type of people. And then, like you said, like I was saying, when you get that mood with that music and things like that, it really resonates with people. So I feel like for this type of film, it's just there's no middle ground. It's like either you love this thing or you probably didn't like it at all.
Definitely agree on that too. Yeah. Blair, let's get into the slate rate, the only rating that matters. The only reason why you guys tune in, us letting you know whether you should watch this or pass on this. Blair, 1 to 5 on entertainment.
Man, that's tough. I mean, we didn't even leave the house. But I did feel like it was artistic, Even the story was of a filmmaker, so filmmaking dialogue, And that I also feel like because of that too, the whole talking smart, right? Where it's like the average movie goer is not even knowing any of these films that he was mentioning.
Oh yeah.
I feel
I was
like
thinking that too because I only knew
like,
about 2 of them. So
man, but I mean, the best years of our lives. That's definitely top 10. Definitely top 10. So shout out for him mentioning that. But I feel like
Sam said he know what he doing.
Well, yeah, I mean he's not like young in the sense of like he's 20, Yeah. Man, I mean, yeah, it's just like it's tough. It's like you're also challenging the viewer, and I give that to you as well. I'll say 2.5.
2.5. Okay. All right. 1 to 5. Originality.
I feel like he was on to something. He was trying to do something.
Oh, he was on to something.
He was trying. I mean, like I said, like I'm a filmmaker, so I'm an artist first and foremost, right? But like I feel like I understand where he was trying to go with the dialogue and all the film stuff that's being talked about, and like you're waiting for that review. You're hoping you get that positive review. Like I see where he's going, okay? But I mean, is it completely original? Nah, of course not. Did he try to take something and slaughter it, in a good way? I mean, he definitely tried. I mean, I wouldn't say that he always succeeded. So it's just kind of like, I'll say 2. As far
Dang, really? So you got it at a 4.5.
Yeah, you felt like it was all the way original?
So let me get into my rating. Entertainment, 1 to 5. I mean, yeah, I gotta go with Blair. I gotta go 2. And I like the dialogue, but that was it, really. And you know what? I said I was gonna hate it. I didn't hate it. I liked it more than I thought. I should have said that in the good. Sorry about that. I definitely liked the film a lot more than I thought I was gonna like it. I thought off the bat like this was gonna be bad. Yeah, the dialogue was the only thing for me, and I can't give it 3 points because there's more to it, So I gotta go 2. Dang, that's sad. Sorry. And then originality, yes, I thought it was pretty unique and original of a storyline, just to take one big argument and make it an hour and 40 minutes, and to sit it in one.
We give points for that?
In one setting. Yeah, I mean, it's unique. It's unique. It's different. I don't see a lot of one-day arguments. One argument's lasting the whole movie. Like, it is a unique twist on filmmaking. I mean, he put it in one setting, 2 characters. That's it. And it takes place in the course of a night, and they fighting. That's original to me. I'm gonna go ahead. The originality is honestly gonna be the only thing that's gonna save this rating. And shoot, don't even know what I'm about to do here. I'm gonna give it a 4.
Okay.
On originality, so I got it at 6 out of 10.
Okay, I feel like
And it's about the middle of a road movie. Go.
I think it is a very good 4.5 film, right? So I gave it a 4.5 out
Yeah.
of 10. I think it's very good for a 4.5. Probably better than some of the 4.5s that we sat here and gave, like
Lord, isn't
Operation Christmas Drop.
Tell me about
But
We've watched some duds. You guys have been with us.
did you ever think it was a dud?
Yeah. We gotta talk about that one. But go on.
Man, classic. But for me, it's like it's not that it wasn't original. It's just kind of like, for me, it's the execution.
Yeah.
That's like the biggest thing. I mean, because I know what you're saying, but like Ingmar Bergman, like the director, he does that type of stuff where they stay in there, you know, and don't leave. And he does very, very well with that. So it's kind of like, in my mind, like it's like you trying to hit on the old school where it was like, because your budget was low, you couldn't leave, so you had to do that. I know films where it's only basically pretty much just two characters, you know. So for me, I'm like, I mean, it's not all the way right. It's not like Get Out or something, you know. So I'm just like, yeah, you know, I'll give it a 2.5.
It's just unique. It's something that you don't see every day.
Yeah, but I mean, if I saw Sam in real life, I would definitely sit down and chop up this movie with him, though, and get his feelings and see what he was thinking.
And
what
I'm
he was
also
really
sure
trying
he
to
wouldn't
do.
care what we thought either.
No. I know. I would also let him know. Yeah, I gave it a 4.5 out of 10. Like, I would straight up tell him, but I would also just want to know about it. Yeah, I know he can care less. The man is eating big time.
Yeah, he doing
Care less
good.
about what the heck I gotta say.
So let's make our, because what I noticed is maybe we're not clear on what we actually think. We give you our ratings, but let's make it clear whether they should go see this or not.
No, I don't think that not spend money.
Yeah, well, if you don't have a Netflix streaming, or if you don't have a hacked Fire Stick, yeah, don't spend money on this.
Who got a hack Fire Stick?
Some people, you know, I've heard it around the
okay.
way.
Oh, okay.
But you know what? Get around to it. It's not something you need to
It's
queue
just
up.
not a pressing matter.
Don't queue it up tonight because you saw this title go up. The 23 of you guys. Don't queue it up. Just wait a little bit.
Oh, the numbers. Numbers is changing. Big Michael Jordan.
Yeah, we got.
Shout out MJ.
It's our MJ season right now. But yeah, don't flock and go see this right away. Is it something that you can get through? Yes. Is it something you need to see right now? No. So we will continue to make it clear on what we really think you should do, and if you should watch it. Because I realize we give our ratings, but you know, we want to really give our opinion. So wait on it. Check it out when you're good and ready, but don't go see it tonight. Don't
It's
pay
honestly-
money. Don't
it's-
invite people over. Have a little watch party.
No.
They're gonna be mad. Okay.
You know exactly what it's perfect for? You sitting down, eating, and you just flipping through the channels, and then you come across the movie and you catch it midway and you just watch it.
Yep. That's what it is.
And no matter where you come in, you know what's going on.
Because literally, you can enter at the end and be like, "Oh, got it."
Exactly.
Yeah. So that is our review on Malcolm and Marie. I had it at a 6. Blair had it at a 4.5. Let us know your thoughts. This is definitely an interesting one to discuss. I was kind of excited for this one. But yeah, next week we'll be back with more sneaker news, more film news. I think our next film is going to be Judas and the Black Messiah. So stay tuned for that. As always, please like and subscribe. It is the Slate Lace Gang. We're out.